card making friends, welcome back. It's Sandi here, and today I'm playing with the My Monthly Hero card kit for February 2022. This is the stamp set that comes in the kit. Isn't it amazing? And there's also a Daniel Smith watercolors, the Dream palette that I'm going to be playing with to create the background of my card. And you'll see that I have swatched it out to get the colors that I want. Here's some of the stuff I made yesterday. That's why my sheet looks so messy. Those are a couple of backgrounds for other cards that I'm doing. On this card, there's also some iridescent colors, and I chose to use those on the black cardstock that came in this month's kit, and look what I made out of it. Isn't this gorgeous? I can't wait to do something with this one. I'm going to be using some Archer's watercolor paper. This is 100% cotton paper. It's always good to use a good quality paper. I've got a couple of brushes, one for water and a couple for painting, some water. And I made a 6x6 square and taped it down to a thicker card. Now I'm going to add a water wash to the entire surface. I'm doing this first because there's not very much paint on these little cards and I want to get a whole background out of it. So I'm doing a wash in 3 colors. I'm going to start with the light pink, and that's going to be the top third. And you see how easily it is to pick up these colors? These little cards are great. Daniel Smith watercolors are they're amazing, but they're super expensive. So this is a great way to try out and see which colors you like. And Hero Arts does have a few different cards with this paint on it. So I did that kind of reddy pink in the middle, and now I'm going to the purple. And as you know, this will lighten out a little bit as it dries. And so I'm just going back in here and I'm trying to blend my joins in a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit more pink to the top just to get a little bit more color in there. And then I'm going to grab my heat tool and I'm going to heat set this. I'm going to be cutting this down to about a 4.5 square. So I just wanted to make sure I have enough paint in there to get that done. My highlight color for this card is going to be gold. So I don't have the gold paint from Hero Arts yet. So I'm using the Gamsel Tambi gem colors, and I'm just wetting down that gold and doing a little bit of splatter with my paintbrush. And now I have cut it out with my 4.5 inch square die, and I'm going to make a card base for it. I'm thinking maybe I need some white. Okay, so I'm grabbing some white paint and I am just going to splatter a little bit of white paint on this, and then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for a few minutes while we play with the new Star Wreath die that comes as an extra, an add-on that you can add to your kit for this month from Hero Arts. Alrighty, check this out. Isn't it pretty? So I cut a 2 out of white just because I thought maybe I was going to do something with them. And I also did 1 out of mere gold cardstock. And then I decided, I think I want kind of a more rustic gold. So I'm going to use the Hero Arts gold embossing powder, and I'm going to emboss the entire thing. And I'm doing 3 layers. So I'm adding my embossing powder to the piece, and I spill my powder all over the place, thankfully on that piece of folded paper, so it'll be easy to pick up. And I'm going to heat set this, and I'm going to go back and forth between the 2 sides so that I have something to hold on to, and I'm just going to keep adding the embossing powder and the ink and get about 3 thick layers of embossing powder on this, and it will actually make it feel like plastic when you get that many layers on it, and it makes it nice and stiff, so it's a nice embellishment on the front of your card. So just keep going around and adding more of the embossing ink, and then another layer of the embossing powder, and just keep heat setting it. And here's the reason why I have a fold in my paper. Look how easily that goes back into that little jar. Okay, so we need to make a card base. This is 5.5 by 11, and I'm scoring it at 5.5. And I'm going to do a side fold on this one. So I've got my card front, and this has been wet and had some paint on it. So I'm going to use Scor-Tape. It's nice and strong, and it will flatten it, hold it in place for me, and make my finished card look nice and professional. And I do put the tape both ways. I'm just not showing you that I'm going to do it both ways. Oh yeah, I guess I do. There you go. All right, so then you're going to line it up and center it on your card. There we go, just like that. And now we're ready. We're going to glue these two pieces together. I'm lining them up right now to make sure I've got the right way, and adding a little bit of the Hero Arts glue all the way around. And then I'm going to pop this over top of the white one, and I'm not going to put it dead on. I'm going to let a little bit of the white show. I think it adds to the depth of the piece once you get it on the card. So I cut some foam squares in half, and I have little pieces on the back of the solid hearts on the back here, just so I can pop it up a little bit and add some depth to my card. I remembered seeing a little cluster of stars in the stamp set, so I'm going to grab that and I'm going to stamp that image a couple of places on my card front. I'm using my anti-static and taking those little hearts off there, my little anti-static to get all my fingerprints off, and then I'm going to stamp those stars 3 times in the embossing ink. And a tip, I would do this before I glued down my centerpiece, that little wreath. Unfortunately, I decided to do this afterwards, so I didn't have much choice. Sprinkle some embossing powder on the 3 places that you stamped it, and carefully shake it off. And then heat set it with your heat tool. And that adds a nice little contrast. And you'll also notice that it picked up and attached itself to some of my white paint. And so I have kind of a nice galaxy Milky Way thing going on in my background there, which I really like. There's a lovely new sentiment set in the add-ons for this month as well. This is called Dream Messages, and you can take it off and audition the different messages. I decided that I liked Follow Your Dreams. I couldn't decide if I wanted it in black or white, so you see that I am going to stamp it in black and in white. I stamp it a couple of times in black because it's a brand new stamp, and I wanted to make sure I had a good impression. And then once again, I am going to grab my gold embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle it all over both of them and heat set it. Sorry about the fuzzy. Okay, we're going to grab the embossing or the heat tool and emboss both of these and see which one we like. You probably looked at those 2 large pieces of paper that I grabbed and thought, why is she embossing on such a big piece of paper? Here's why. I have my little mini trimmer out from Tim Holtz, and this allows me something to hold onto while I'm cutting this down. I learned this trick a while ago. I save long, skinny pieces of paper just for this. So there you go. So this is a nice, easy way to trim these out. And then you can just slice off the ends, and then we can addition which one we decide that we want on our card. So originally I thought I wanted the white, but you know what? I like the black better. It pops a little bit more, and it makes the background of the card look a little bit brighter as well. So I'm adding a couple of those cut in half foam squares to either end because it's going over top of the wreath, which is already popped up. And I got it on there a little bit crooked, so just straightening it out like that. Then I'm going to add some of the stars from the gold foil wreath that I cut out. So 3 or 4 of those. And then I'm using my favorite little embellishments. This is a gem mix from Picket Fence Studios. And what's it called? Sands of Time. And it was filled with gold and silver gems in 4 different colors of each. And I just love these on my cards. And it's perfect for this one with my little galaxy thing going on, just adding a little bit of sparkle of stars in the background. So there we go. There's my finished card. What do you think? I really love this color combination. It's so nice and soft, and I really enjoyed the Daniel Smith watercolors as well. So thank you so much for stopping in and spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. All the supplies that I used are listed underneath this video in the comments below. There's also a link over to my blog where you can download a PDF with all the instructions and the measurements and everything to put this card together. And that's it. Have a happy day, and thanks so much for stopping in. Until next time, toodles!